We're heading to Madagascar as the country's elite military unit, CAPSAT, has declared to have seized power after the National Assembly impeached the President Andry Rajoelina for dereliction of duty. The colonel in charge of the elite military announced the takeover on Tuesday, days after the president went into hiding amid widespread protests and military defections. The CAPSAT plans to form a committee from the army and gendarmerie as well as police to govern temporarily with civilian advisors, to join later. The committee will carry out presidential duties while preparing to establish a civilian government soon. CAPSAT was instrumental in the 2009 coup that first brought Rajoelina to power. Meanwhile, Madagascar's President Andry Rajoelina has said he is in a safe place after an attempt on his life following weeks of protests calling for his resignation. In a live address to the nation on Facebook, the 51-year-old president said a group of military personnel and politicians had planned to assassinate him. To give us more insight on this, we're joined by global affairs analyst Ejike Okpai, joins us live from Texas, United States. Mr. Okpai, it's good to have you join us. Let me ask first, what's your thoughts on the turn of events happening now in Madagascar as CAPSAT has taken over?
Well, whatever is happening is a reflection of, the people feelings about their leadership, and then obviously they took over the power to register that they are not satisfied with what is going on. So it's not the first time it's happened. You remember what happened in Egypt, when Assisi, took over from Mubarak, and everybody thought, oh my God, military coup in a civilian government. I think it doesn't really matter the type of government you have. What matters is the relevance of that government to the people. And, if democracy is a panacea for economic development, how come most African countries are struggling? So, each country has to come to terms to what type of government they want. And if that government is not going to be responsible to what their needs are, then obviously that's going to be, this sort of thing that is happening in Madagascar. Many African countries are not pleased with the civilian government they have. And you could see the protests. Sometimes the protests don't lead to overthrow of government, but there's a lot of anguish, a lot of dissatisfaction because the politicians,
Right, but I do have to ask about implications, though. With their seizure of power, what would be the implication on either the country's stability, but most importantly on its economy?
Well, I mean, the implication is that it doesn't really matter whether in Abada or civilian clothes, the people that are doing these things to their national people are people from that particular country, whether military or civilian clothes. We've seen that across Africa. It doesn't, it is not ghosts that are doing these things to Africa. It's Africans doing it to themselves. So the implication could be national, implication could be international. There could be some people, international forces, that instigating this thing to happen. It doesn't really matter. If you are not protective of your own home, the outsider is going to have an advantage. So what Africans need to do is to come and look inwards. All this idea of Pan-Africanism, which at the end of the day doesn't bring anybody any goodies. Secure the plate before you look for the pan. Most African countries are not strong enough to survive on their own, so they lose and weaken their own nationality by doing Pan-Africanism. So that's the implication. Oftentimes somebody's behind this stuff. It could be somebody outside of Africa doing this, because with this sort of disruption, then they come in and take advantage of the nation, because there are no institutions. Africans build strong individuals, but not strong institutions.
All right. Mr. Ejike, I must say thank you for taking out the time to join us. Ejike Okpai, who's a global affairs analyst, joining us live from U.S.